It was hell, because the Red Army was so close that its artillery could easily reach the Königsplatz, the Tiergarten and the Reichstag. Through this hurricane of fire, it was still sometimes possible for us to engage ground targets with our guns.
Less than a mile to the south, General Chuikov's army has also blasted its way forward. The battle now rages around the Reich Chancellery building. Again and again, Gisela Stenger goes out into the shell-torn streets.
We always had one thing in our minds. You must get to the wounded. You must take care of them and make sure that they're brought under cover to be treated. That was what I tried to do.
By 3:30 p.m., Stalin's soldiers are almost on top of Hitler's last hiding place in the bunker below. Even in his madness, Hitler knows that time has run out. While Eva Braun, his wife for just 24 hours, takes a cyanide capsule, Hitler fires a bullet into his brain. With no idea their leader is dead, the garrison of SS men and Hitler Youth in the Reichstag fight on. But at 6 p.m., Soviet assault troops at last reach the building.
I could see these huge pillars and then the dome, which was half destroyed, smashed in by shells. There was still fighting going on. And when we were overhead, we could see flashes of light from the grenades bursting inside.
Murderous hand-to-hand erupts as men stalk each other through the burning, smoke-filled rooms. The battle is decided with submachine guns, grenades, and even knives. One small group carrying Victory Banner number 5 fights its way through the maze of corridors. Breaking out into the shell-torn roof, they plant their flag at the base of a statue. Days later, the flag raising is reenacted for the cameras. Across the city, small bands of German soldiers carry on the hopeless fight. But then the news of Hitler's death explodes like a bombshell.
Dass Hitler sich mit einer Frau jetzt eingelassen hat.
That Hitler would take a wife, that he would then commit suicide, well and truly brought to an end my entire belief in the Third Reich.
Dieses Dritten Reiches, denn
I had sincerely believed in final victory, right up to the last second, however crazy that might sound.
Klingen mag.
With Hitler gone, senior German officers now make contact with the Soviet forces to try to negotiate an armistice. But they are told to surrender unconditionally, or the Red Army's attacks will turn Berlin to dust. At 6 a.m. on the morning of May 2nd, the garrison of Berlin surrenders, and the order goes out to German forces everywhere to lay down their arms.
It was incredible. We just couldn't believe it. We fired our machine guns into the air, and in the great old Russian tradition, we all drank a glass of vodka and ate and celebrated.
When the surrender was declared on May the 2nd, there was a huge commotion on the airfield. We all cheered. We fired our guns into the air, and then I ran to my aircraft and fired off all the ammunition in my machine gun. But then I was punished for using up all my ammunition, because though we thought it was all over, we still had to fly another mission.
6 days later, official surrender ceremonies take place in both East and West. The Second World War in Europe is over. Hitler's 1,000-year Reich has been completely destroyed. For the German people who followed Hitler into the abyss, the world has come to an end.
It didn't seem possible for the whole tragedy of the war to end like that. If there had been an armistice, I would have said, okay, it was an honorable defeat. But to be crushed so completely, we just couldn't accept it. We felt crushed in the truest sense of the word.
After 6 years of the most terrible war in history, Europe is in ruins. Millions have died, and millions more are homeless refugees. Tragically, the freedom destroyed by Adolf Hitler is not fully restored to Eastern Europe for another 45 years. But the sacrifice of so many lives has not been in vain.
The end in Berlin may herald the Cold War, but that is overshadowed and will be overshadowed to future generations by the fact that the free world joined together and destroyed the Nazi state.